It was a quiet night when Rayhan returned to his apartment after a long day. The building was unusually silent. No distant chatter, no creaking pipes, no hum of electricity from neighboring apartments. He shrugged it off and inserted his key into the lock. The door opened with a soft click, revealing the dimly lit hallway. Dust motes floated lazily in the stale air. Something felt off. He stepped inside, flicking on the light. Nothing seemed wrong at first. The apartment was the same as he had left it, except for the bedroom. He froze. The curtains by the large window were drawn, a soft ripple moving along them as though touched by a breeze. Rayhan hadn't left a window open. The air in the room was still, probably just the AC, he muttered, though the unease in his chest tightened like a vice. He walked closer. As he neared the curtains, a shadow shifted. A tall, thin figure moved just behind the fabric. Rayhan stopped cold. His heart thundered in his chest. He blinked. The shadow hadn't moved. Not even a whisper of movement. Just standing there. "Hello?" he called, his voice trembling. The shadow didn't respond. He reached for the curtain and pulled it aside. Nothing. The room was empty. His pulse raced. "Must be my imagination," he whispered. He tried to shake it off, setting down his bag and pouring himself a glass of water. But as he turned back toward the bedroom, the curtains moved again. The shadow was back. The faint outline of a girl, barely visible through the thick fabric, standing perfectly still. She wasn't there before. How could she be there? Rayhan's mind raced. Maybe it was a reflection, a trick of the light. Maybe someone was hiding. He approached slowly, each step deliberate, trying not to startle whatever it was. The shadow remained, silent, unblinking. He reached the curtains and yanked them open. The room was empty. Again, his hands shook, cold sweat forming at his temples. He backed away, telling himself he needed to calm down. Perhaps he should call a friend, someone to confirm he wasn't losing his mind. But the apartment phone was dead. The landline light was dark, no dial tone. Rayhan's laptop sat on the desk, but the Wi-Fi was gone too. His phone signal was non-existent. Panic began to bubble beneath his skin. Something wasn't right. Then he heard it, a soft giggle, high-pitched, innocent, like a child laughing, echoing from the bedroom. He froze. His blood ran cold. He hadn't heard it from the hallway. It came from inside, close enough to be right behind him. "Who's there?" he demanded, his voice breaking. The giggle stopped. Silence. Too complete. He edged toward the bedroom again, flashlight in hand. Every object in the room appeared normal. The bed neatly made, the closet doors closed, the nightstand untouched. Nothing to indicate that anyone had been there. And then he saw her. She was standing behind the curtains once more, not moving, not blinking, just standing. Her hair was long and dark, tangled around her pale face. Her dress was torn, stained with something dark. He couldn't tell if it was mud or something worse. Her eyes were hollow, black voids that seemed to suck in the light. Rayhan stumbled backward, heart hammering. What are you?" His voice was barely a whisper. The girl didn't answer. She raised a finger slowly, pointing at him. Her head tilted unnaturally, almost snapping the angle of her neck. A low, static hum filled the room, vibrating through his chest, making his ears ring. Suddenly, the curtains whipped open violently, though the window was still closed. Rayhan fell to the floor. Dust, debris, and darkness swirled around him. And then she vanished. He scrambled to his feet, panic overwhelming reason. The apartment felt larger somehow, distorted, the walls stretching and contracting, the lights flickered, shadows moved where no light should reach. Every corner of the room seemed alive, as if watching, waiting. Rayhan tried to leave. He ran to the door, but it wouldn't budge. No matter how hard he pulled, it remained locked. The doorknob rattled violently, and a cold, wet breath grazed his neck. He spun around. The girl was closer this time, no longer behind the curtains, but standing in the middle of the room. Her movements were jerky, unnatural, like a broken puppet. She tilted her head and whispered, her voice a distorted echo of a child's. "You can't leave." Rayhan's stomach dropped. His phone vibrated violently in his pocket, even though there was no signal. The screen flashed. A message appeared. "We've been waiting for you." He dropped the phone in horror. The curtains swayed again, and there were more of them. Shadows of girls, all pale, all staring, all moving toward him slowly. Silently, emerging from the walls themselves. The room seemed to contract, the air heavy and choking. He backed into a corner, chest heaving, tears streaming down his face. "Please, go away," he screamed. The shadows paused for a heartbeat. Then all at once they giggled. A sound like nails scraping chalkboards, twisted with the laughter of children. The room became unbearably cold, his breath visible in the dark. One of the girls floated toward him, stopping inches from his face. Her hollow eyes bored into him. He tried to move, but his legs refused to respond. The other shadows pressed closer, forming a wall, cutting off any escape. The girl reached out a hand, cold as ice, brushing his cheek. Her touch burned. A vision flashed in Rehan's mind. A series of past victims, eyes wide with terror, faces twisted, all standing behind curtains just like hers, trapped between worlds. And then he realized he was next. He screamed, and the world distorted. The curtains became black voids, walls melted into nothingness, and the shadows pressed against him from all sides. Voices whispered his name, a chorus of sorrow, anger, and hunger. Then silence. Rehan found himself on the floor, in the exact same spot where he had first entered the apartment. The lights were back to normal. The curtains hung still. The room was empty. His phone was in his hand, vibrating normally, notifications piling up like nothing had happened. He exhaled shakily, tears running down his face. It was over, wasn't it? He swore to himself he would never come back. But as he glanced toward the window, the curtains moved once more, slowly, smoothly. There she was, standing behind them, staring dire at him. Her head tilted, her black hollow eyes locked on his. And for the first time Rehan understood, she would always be there, waiting, patient, and she never blinked. He ran, but he could still see her, faintly, through every window, every reflective surface, every shadow in his apartment. She was always there, behind the curtains, waiting for him to look away, to stop believing. And the moment he did, she would come closer. Even now, somewhere, she waits,